Well, friends, here we are once again. Tonight, some of the students were complaining about this simple question, as you know, they were having difficulty finding making the R the subject. So we decided to take it further. As you can see, the question says V is equal to 1 over 3 pi r squared. 1 over 3 pi r squared. And as you can see, we are going to make it a change of subject. So let's see. Now, we're going to make R the subject of the formula. So let's take it once again. We know the formula is V is equal to 1 over 3 pi r squared h. Okay, let's see how we can set the ball rolling. Okay, so V is equal to 1/3 pi r squared h. So the formula is V is equals to 1/3 pi r squared h. So as I told you guys, anytime you see a question of the form like this, you must understand the interpretation of the formula. You know, some will write the formula this way. Some will say V is equals to pi r squared h over 3. You see, which is the same. These two equations are the same. But the meaning of this equation is V is equals to pi multiplying r squared and multiplying h and multiplying by 1/3. Okay, so that's the meaning of the equation. So how do we make r squared a subject? First and foremost, all what we gotta do is to multiply through by 3, just to avoid the fraction. Remember, in equation, what we do to the left hand side, we do to the right hand side. So what we do to the left hand side, we do the same to the right hand side. Okay, so V is equals to, you know, pi r squared h. So I'm going to multiply here by 3. So we have 3 times V equals to pi r squared h all over 3. So I multiply here by 3 too. So as you can see, when we do that, that 3 is on the right hand side. I'm going to cancel. So this will cancel this, and this will cancel that. So in a nutshell, our formula is going to be 3V equals to pi r squared h. You see, as I've been saying, what are we seeing over here? Our interpretation also once again says that pi times r squared times h. So since, you know, they are multiplying, we can decide to say that 3V is equals to r squared pi h. So you see, this pi h, it's a product of the two. You see, so we classify them as composite. We classify them as composite. That is, they multiply together, so they look like they're one, even though they are not one. Or so because of that, we are going to take RH, pi h into consideration. So we say pi h into consideration. So we say divide both sides. We say both sides of the equation by pi h. So now we know it's 3V, which is equals to r squared pi h. So we divide both sides by pi h. So we should remember what we do to the left hand side, we do the same on the right. So we divide here by pi h here by pi h. Okay, when we do that, you will see that the pi h's on the right are also going to cancel each other. So this pi h, we'll cancel this pi h. Therefore, our equation here says 3v over pi h is equal to r squared. Have you seen it? So if that is the case, r squared is equal to 3v over pi h. Now, what do we do to let r stand alone? As you can see, we have to take square root, yeah, at both sides, or at both sides of the equation derived, so far. This is the equation we derived. So our equation says r squared is equal to 3v all over pi h. So what do? We are going to take square roots to both sides. So I say square roots to the left hand side, okay, so that, and the square root to the right hand side. And we know that square roots of r, this will be r, square root of r squared will be r. As you can see, so this will give us r equals to 3v pi h and the square root of the whole thing. Hence the change of the subject. So you see that it's not all that difficult. Well, some people can decide to write it this way. They will say r is equal to 3v pi h, or is the power half, which is the same as this equation we see over here. Okay, friends, that is the end of change of subject. But I think we got to go through it once more for everybody to be clear with what we've done so far. Okay, so the formula given is v is equal to 1/3 pi r squared, which I said this can be written in this way. Okay, this the whole equation are the same. Okay, look at this and that. Okay, the same as the first one. So with the clarification, the understanding of the equation we see will always be a tool that will guide us to be able to come out with the change of the subject without hesitation. You see, as you can see, the interpretation of this equation means v is equal to pi times r squared times h times 1/3. Okay, so as you can see, 1/3 over here is our issue. So this 3, yeah, we choose to read and say multiply through by 3 just to eliminate the fraction. Now bear in mind that in the equation, what you do to the left hand side, you do to the right. So when so doing, you see that when we multiply through by 3, the v will become 3 times v, and the pi r squared over 3 multiplied by 3. Now you see that 3 cancel each other. So then we got to this point where we have this formula that says 3v, that's a 3v is equals to pi r squared h. Friends, it's easy. You see, that's what I've highlighted. Okay, then we once again go to this point where we also want everybody to understand why the equation is standing the way it is. So we said v is equals 3v is equals to pi times r squared times h. Okay, and this can also be written as you can see over here. You see, so the r squared pi h is it's a product of of 3 different variables. So we say the product of the two, the RH, is a composite variable. So pi h is a composite variable. Meaning we will look at it as if it's one component. Okay, so then we single that out, that pi h out over here. Okay, we single it out, and also we said divide both sides of the equation by pi h. Okay, remember in the every equation, what we do to the left hand side, you do the same to the right. So then you see, we said 3v is equal to r squared pi h. So we divided the left hand side by pi h, okay, and also the right hand side by pi h, okay. Then we realize that the pi h is going to cancel the pi h. That makes the r squared stand alone. So we say r squared is 3v over pi h is equal to r squared, which is the same as saying r squared equals to 3v pi h. Now, we have to take the square at both sides of the equation. You see, as I said earlier, what you do to the left hand side, you do the same on the right. So we took the square root of r squared, and consequently, with the square root of the whole 3v over pi h. And we know the square root of r squared is r. So then our equation becomes r is equal to the square root of 3v over pi h. While some people can decide to write the formula as r is equal to 3v pi h all raised to the power half. Hence, that is the end. Friends, that is where we finish the day with. Well, I'll be glad if you can subscribe and also, explain to your friends the good things you are enjoying over here. And, click on the bell as well, so you'll be the first person to receive any tutorial we post before we even do it. Nice, nice, nice. Speak to you guys, and I'm happy to see you around. Have a lovely day. Bye.